Right now we're in Denmark, Jutland, a little bit south from the city Vejle. The main water divide goes from, on this map, goes from here to here.
Hello everybody, this is Imoju restoration of streams. The main water divide of Denmark in Jutland spreads from northwest to northeast. Streams that run off east are not so steep. They're steep around by 2 to 30%. The river bed is covered by stones and sand, what we had a chance to see in our previous location. They have better conditions and there are more fish. Streams running west have moderate slope, 0.5 to 5%, and the bottom of the sand and gravels.
Yes, you Right now we're standing on the back of the Norskov Baek. That is a feeder of the river Ome, which flows into the biggest river in Denmark. This is the territory where we are. This is the river. And we're right now standing right here and describing the catchment area of this river, of this stream. Here. The catchment area was formed in during the Ice Age. The sediments are mostly sand and gravel that are unsorted. The territory of the catchment area is intensively cropped. Upstream, the stream becomes narrow and it is piped. It receives the water mostly from the groundwater.
Here we can see where the stream comes from. Further upstream, the stream is piped and we cannot see it anymore. A further improvement would be to open up these pipes and let the stream flow on the surface. On this drawing we can see a cross-section of river Norskov, and in the middle there is the stream with, on the left and the right, the riparian zones. We have mostly very shallow water with a lot of nice gravel that can serve as spawning ground for trouts. Some sections are also a bit deeper, like 20 to 25 centimeters of water depth. The riparian zones are very short, very small, and almost not visible. It's just 0.2 meters on the left and 0.3 meters on the right side of the stream. The corridor on the left and on the right is including the slopes of the stream. They're about 3 or 3.5 meters in height. And the corridor also includes the buffer zones. The buffer zones should serve or should prevent the river from getting polluted from agricultural substances, from fertilizers, and there is an obligatory buffer zone of about 2 meters that should be between the arable land and the stream. and here we have this obligatory 2 meters on the left side of the stream, and on the right side we have voluntarily 10 meters of buffer that the farmer made. On the left and on the right, in the catchment area, we have the arable land, and what is planted here is mostly barley. Now we will have a look in the riparian zone of our river. Usually in Denmark the riparian zone is flooded every year in winter. In our case, the stream was channelized and straightened. That's why the riparian zone is very narrow in this place, and it's about just 20 centimeters on each edge. You could barely see it. The riparian zone is characterized by the vegetation, and we have plants that usually like or prefer wet conditions, like the reed grasses here. Also, we have a very dense vegetation, as you can see, so that's why the erosion vulnerability of the place in Norskov is really low.
So what I'm doing now is that I put this iron net catcher into the water, and I'm doing slightly movement in front of it to get living organisms from the bottom. Well, it's kind of empty, but we'll try again. Live here in the bank.
The determination of the water quality is according to the species occurring in the stream. They are dependent on different conditions and therefore indicate the status of the river. If the status is very good, good, moderate, poor or very poor. According to the Water Framework Directive, the focus is on the invertebrates in the river, so the fish don't count in this. Therefore we did some sampling and the results can be seen here. Okay. We found flatworms, snails, crustaceans, mayflies, caddisflies with house and without house. We found beetles, and that's it. Here on the color scale we can see the water quality. The blue colors indicating very good and good water quality. Green says moderate water quality, and yellow to red are not so good conditions. In our case, in River Norskov, we are situated here in the green part, number 5. That means good water quality, and the species indicating that is this mayfly.
Okay. Due to the heavy plant growth, the eroded material stuffs the stream and the runoff gets bad. Therefore, the stream is excaved every 5 years by the farmers. The excavation is a catastrophe for the ecosystem. A suggested measure would therefore be to plant elder trees at the shores of the stream. This would lead to more shadow and therefore reduce plant growth within the stream and better runoff of eroded material. Naturally, there would be little ponds in this area of the agricultural fields, but in the last century the fields were drained. The water runs off into the streams immediately. This leads to a fast dry out and heating of the soil, and later on irrigation is necessary. On the other hand, the stream might dry out. Without drainage, the area would remain wet until May. Therefore, a suggestion to the farmer is to cut off the drainage pipes and let the water drain naturally.
The resulting decrease in harvest can be compensated by the Danish authorities.
Here you can see a 10 meters buffer strip that was respected by the farmer. This is already a great improvement. On the other side of the stream we can see only a 2-meter narrow buffer zone. As a third suggestion, it would be good to make the buffer strip wider on this side as well.
1, 2, 3, 4. In the winter summer school taught us Bjarne from North Sea, and he told us of his life of restoration in Vejle. We all live in a small stream, in a small stream, in a small stream. We all live in a small stream, in a small stream, in a small stream.